I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, and welcome to Tuesday Night Coffee Talk Podcast. We are the Cultural Variety Podcast Show, and we bring you the flavor. Tonight, we're going to discuss the narrative that spread all over the social media streets. So here's the question. Does providing mean men should work while their women stay at home? Let's discuss it. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. Welcome. What it do, y'all? You know how it is, man. We want to just pay respect and homage and just say thank you to our viewers. Because, you know, we've been so unsteady as far as our scheduling goes these past 2 weeks. So tonight we want to go ahead and just slide on through. It's Tuesday. And whenever we do a Tuesday pop-up, it's always going to be a great show. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to be here. How are y'all doing today? Today is March 18th. And kind of chilly today in the Twin Cities. You know, we had a high of 27 degrees, but the wind is what's been kicking people's butt, man. You know what I mean? We don't have no snow, which is beautiful, but the wind be kicking our butt a little bit, you know. I don't want to use ball. All right. So listen, this is our Tuesday night show. And if this is your first time tuning into the show, Coffee Talk Podcast, we never start the show without giving you the flavor as well as its wise words. And then that's how we open the show, or begin our show. Tonight's flavor is a mango raspberry. Why a mango raspberry? A mango raspberry smoothie because it's dairy-free, it's low in sodium, and it's low in calories. It'll fill you up, and it's healthy for you. So tonight's flavor is a mango raspberry. What is your flavor tonight? What are you sipping on? You could be sipping on some water, some wine, a smoothie, a latte, some tea, a beer, whatever you do. Make sure that you're doing it with flavor. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So now let's go ahead and move on to our wise words before we jump into our show for tonight. This brother, he had to double back because he's that important to hip hop. I think yesterday I had him somewhere between 1 and 15, and I have to apologize. He's in my top 10 for sure. This brother has multitudes of albums. He comes out of Brooklyn, New York. But because this is Coffee Talk Podcast, I want to give it its props. Also to the fact that he has 3 books that are out there. That's right, 3 books. In 1996, he had a book called The Science of Rap. It was self-published in 1996. In 2003, this gentleman who we're gonna read his wise words tonight, this gentleman had a book called Ruminations, which was published July 25th, 2003. And his 3rd book came out in 2009, and it was called The Gospel of Hip Hop, the first instrumental. We're talking about the Blast Master KRS-One. That's what we're going to talk about for the wise word. KRS-One has said this. KRS-One has said, you know, you don't see with your eyes. You see with your brain. And the more words your brain has, the more things you can see. I'll say it one more time on behalf of KRS-One. KRS-One's wise words is this. You know you don't see with your eyes. You see with your brain. And the more words your brain has, the more things you can see. Those are the wise words of KRS-One. I said Boogie Down Productions. Gonna get paid. We take the wackest songs and make them better. Yeah. Big shout out to UC. See, KRS-One is wise one. All right, so tonight's discussion is we're talking about this the social media streets. You know, every time you go on social media, you hear people talking about how women are supposed to be at home and men are supposed to be taking care of them. And what's going on with that verbiage or that narrative is it's getting infiltrated is the right word I want to use. It's being infiltrated by so many different groupings and groups of people. And you know how our people, either whatever is trendy, we attach to it, or we just don't never question. If it sounds like a good hook, a good jingle, the word of the day, the saying of the day, we latch on to it. Part of that comes from us being on plantations. Part of that comes from us not being able to question. The word why is very important. We weren't able to question. In fact, when we were on plantations, we had to look with our eyes and head down. You couldn't look a white person in the eyes, a slave master in the eyes. So this is where it starts to develop, where we wouldn't question the word why. And as religions were fused into you, beaten into you, you took on that same stereotype of, or that same uh, dogma, I want to say, of not asking why or questioning why. You know, you have some people out there that are learners, such as myself, that has to know why. Are you one of those people out there that when you are learning something or doing something, or going someplace or any of those things, you always have to know the why, the reason. You have to know the why reason of why something is happening and taking place. That's part of our learning. When they say people have three learning styles, that's part of that makeup. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is that we've been having this discussion about women staying at home and men taking care of everything, paying all the bills and all this stuff. I done seen a few other clippings and reels of other social mediaites out there that have been arguing back and forth. One brother saying you got to pay, a man should pay all 100% of the bills. And he never really talks about his wife working. However, I see that the young lady is very intelligent. And my question would be, why would you waste intelligence? You know? So I know she's working for him, and that's okay. That's okay. What I'm here to do tonight is I'm just here to kill this narrative and this cliche amongst my people. Because we are so captivized into wanting to go with the latest trend or whatever our colonizer or their media feeds us, we accept. break down a few things here that I have dug up as we start to expose why that cliche is silly, it's bullshit, it's a division, it divides people, relationships, families. It's bullshit. Let's discuss some of these. It says here, I just got a couple little receipts I pulled out, but according to Career Center, Pittsburgh University Education, um, they stated that the National Service Act of 1941 made the conscription of women into the workplace. Let's take conscription out and let's just fill it with allow. So it was the National Service Act of 1941 that allowed for women to work in the workplace. What are such things that women were doing back in 1941 or even before that? Well, it says here also, according to W.W. Brookings educational site, they state that women in the 1930s through the mid 1970s, these women participated in the growth of the economy. Where did these women work at? They worked in what they call sweated industries. Women worked both at home and outside of their home. An example, some of their at home work was called piecework or homemaker. Some of their outside work was working in the textiles with clothing in the clothing factories or domestic labor, working for wealthy families. And this wasn't just our women, but this was women in general. Women had to go into the labor forces around World War One, I think, or World War Two. Leave that in the comments if you know. It was World War Two. And so when I hear people say, a man need to take care of everything, a man need to take care of everything, you're absolutely right. However, as I stated at the beginning of the show, the narrative has been infiltrated by so many different groups. And what the purpose is for us to argue amongst one another, black men and black women. We are the only people out of the world, different cultures, that has this discussion of I don't need a man need to take care of me. The entitlement slogans that we're hearing that is popularized in our reality TV shows, that is popularized in our music, that is popularized in the online content. You know, I have enjoyed 35 years of dealing with different and diverse different people all across the state and even outside of the state and even outside of the country. I've dealt with different diverse people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I never seen them, heard them, observed them have wives at home while the man is out. Now some people say, "Well, I know some couples like that." Yeah, that's cool. Out of how many? So that's not a high number because it's not consistent. Some of the facts of women staying at home is for several reasons, and I want to point them out as we expose this narrative. Some of the reasons why a wife, your woman, your lady should stay at home is if she had to take care of the elderly, meaning her mother, her father, your mother, your father. And as a family unit, that was the role that was needed in that particular time. So you have your wife stay at home to take care of the elder. Another reason why a woman, wife, your queen, should stay at home is if she's pregnant. Absolutely. These are natural causes. These are positive solutions as to that cause. Taking care of the elderly, taking care of your in-laws, taking care of your own parents. You know how it is. We don't want to put our people in old folks' homes. Not if you know, we don't have to. We was taught to take care of our elders, but we lost sight of that along this last decade or so. Last 2 decades, really, it started to get real ill. We're in 2024. The realities is this: to make anything work, it takes a team. It takes man and woman. I don't believe there's any man that would want to see his woman just sitting at home looking pretty. Yeah, he might use that to brag about it for a short period of time. But as all human beings, we have emotions, we have triggers, we have what we're trying to accomplish, and sometimes we outgrow things. So you mean to tell me a woman should stay at home while a man just goes and provides? And what does provide mean? Let's break that down. Providing means you're supposed to take care of your responsibilities. Your home, making sure you putting food on the table, making sure you keeping your wife safe, comfortable, sound, your children, and leading a way and leading a path as the family monarch, as the family head. Yes, you're supposed to provide. But as I stated earlier, the narrative has been infiltrated. People think that providing means you have to have this an abundance of money. Money's important. Any monetary is important because this shit can end them tonight, and we don't use money at all. And now we're using rubles, diamonds, and pearls. You know what I'm talking about? Saying currency. You know, growing up, man, we all know what we consider to be success. But if you was to ask all of us, we have a different definition. All of the successful people I've saw, married, own businesses, are involved in the community, take part in educating the youth, have worked together. And the ones that were in relationships, and let's say marriage. Marriage doesn't have to be just going to get a marriage certificate. But if y'all been together for a long time and y'all have that understanding amongst yourselves, you are married. All women have contributed by working. So let me just go ahead and get into the story. So I saw this reel, and it was talking just about what we're talking about tonight. It was talking about, women should stay at home or whatnot. So I'm sitting there with this lady that I admire at work. She's an older lady. She's about my mother's age, but she happens to be, and this is no disrespect. I just want to paint the picture so you'll understand the conversation. Excuse me, wise lady. I really respect her. This lady is from another culture. Okay, and I asked her. I said, Patty, something's bothering. She said, "What's bothering you, Brian?" My government name. I said, I said, I want to talk to you about something. She said, "Sure." I said, I enjoy these conversations that we always have. You know, one, because we are from two different cultures, but two, because we both share great minds, great communication, great intellect. I love talking to her. She loves talking to me. And we have another friend, but he wasn't there in attendance. So I said to her, I want to tell you about my culture and what's bothering me. She said, "Well, what is bothering you?" I said, "What bothers me is that my people tend to believe that women should stay at home and men should just work and provide." Miss Patty, by the way, is a beautiful, wise woman, European woman. She said, "I hear what you're saying." And she says, "I don't understand," talking about herself, "why women buy into that," was her words. "I don't understand why women buy into that," she said. She says she can recall back when she was in school and they were taking home economics. And there was books that actually talked about how to be a good wife, what to do, how to have the kids prepared, bathed, ready for night, ready for the next morning, how food was to be prepared for a husband that was out working, and all of these different things. And this was in their public schools at the time that encouraged women to be wise. So she said she didn't understand how women are buying into this narrative that women should stay at home. I told her, I said, "Miss Patty, all of the people that I come in contact with over all this time in my careers," I said, all of these people work." And she said, "Yeah." So how this infiltrated into our people that our woman should just stay at home is a delusion. All the successful women I've known, they worked. All of the successful men I've known, they worked or owned businesses, which is still working. No, you don't get to just sit at home and play on Facebook, TikTok, the gram, while your man is out working, providing, and trying to cover every bill so that y'all can enjoy life, take trips, vacations, pay bills, whatever. We are the only ones, we are the only ones that are delusional. I mean, come on. Some of you people are influenced by some of these entertainers and people that you see constantly, your favorites, your fad, right? But I've done seen billionaires' wives work, still working. This has been created to keep us divided. And it's time for us to start to recognize it. Not just keep having these same conversations because you heard them before. But the reality is, you don't win as an individual. You don't win isolated. You win as a team. You will continue to lose or not be happy or any of those things if you're trying to acquire all those things on your own. So many women out here today with careers who are working, who are outstanding, but they gave up being a wife for those rewards. Now they say the time is ticking and their value is going down, although they have the rewards, the degrees and such. I want to read something to you as we get ready to go. It's a couple pieces. Again, I was bringing receipts, but I want to read this. This is out of this is on page 26, and let me see what chapter it is. First of all, it's chapter 2 of polygamy, and I wasn't going to go into polygamy in the normal terms, but I want to point out because we're talking about work and where this thing came from, right? So I want you to just listen to me. In spite of what African women believe, several factors contribute to the gradual decline of polygamy. These include imposition of Greco-Roman marriage under Christianity, this Western education, the demographics and the economic changes arising from the industrialization. Such influences had the effect of breaking up marriages and families and completely destroying African American marriage and family practices in some countries, making matters complex in others and creating a great deal of confusion in others. Some of this stems from the pressure to conform to Western ideas. Where am I going with this? So, why was women not working in the earlier time period, going all the way back to the Greco-Roman periods? Why were women not working? Let's touch that. Let's touch that. They were not working because, one, when they were getting married back in those times, when this all came about, it was about bloodline. That was it. Family bloodlines. But the ego of a man's ego, always wanted to put the woman second. I'm talking about the European man. Always wanted to put the woman second. The rest of the men of the world start to learn this. You learn from your colonizer. Another reason why the woman was kept at home while the man worked, because also the man did not want the woman to know all of his traits, although she knew anyway. The woman's intuition is great. Men like to gamble. Men like to go out. Men likes prostitution. Men like to go chase the black women in the plantations. All of this, even going far back, men going after the heteros, the concubines, men doing whatever devilish things they're doing outside of the home. So they kept the wife in the home. You follow me? They kept the wife in the home. And as we stated, it wasn't until, in the United States anyway, the National Service Act of 1941 that made it where women were allowed to work. In World War II. So when we hear this cliche of women women didn't work, where are you getting that from? See, you believe everything that comes down their media wire, their influences. Oh, they must be right. No, their women didn't work because of the reasons that I just shared with you tonight on this show. It was to be hidden. Men didn't want them to know about all of the things that they had going. They just wanted their women to have babies and to keep that family name intact. So you stayed home. That's the only reason. All of the other cultures, even ours, our women work and we work. Work should not be the trigger that makes you feel like you are being suppressed in some type of way by men. No. We work to make gains in life, to make gains with our families, to build tradition so tradition can get carried on. There's never a time where a woman or man should not work. You're going to always work until you leave, either for somebody or for yourself. You're going to always work. You're going to work worrying about what your children are doing is work out there when they're not home. There's nothing wrong with work. The problem is so many people are buying into this crap that men and women shouldn't work. Miss Patty said to me, she said, you know, she said, me and my husband work. And she said, there's some things that I'm good at that he allows me to do. And she said, because he's retired, there's things that he does that are great. He does all the things that have to deal with the cars and moving stuff and all that. And she does the things she's good at. And she made an emphasis to say the things that she didn't like to do and the things that he didn't like to do, they did those things together. Again, teamwork, y'all. That's what it's about. It's about family. Not about one person uh running the family that is not in position to. It's about family. It's about knowing your role. Everybody has a role. to play and carry out to keep your family progressing. And tonight I just want to stop in. When it comes to that, oh, I get to stay at home. A man need to take care of me. Ain't no man taking care of no lazy ass grown up. I don't care how cute she is or what she got. Ain't no man taking care of no woman. Y'all gonna take care of each other, and that's how you're gonna win. Let me hear what your thoughts are on that. Go ahead and leave them in the comments. We are live tonight here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Let us know you're with us. We are the Cultural Variety Podcast Show, Coffee Talk Podcast. We appear 3 times a week. But as I stated in yesterday's show, we're not going to be consistent right now because I'm in the middle of doing some things. I'm in the middle of moving. I'm in the middle of getting ready to graduate from business school and things like that. So I'm just busy right now, but I love to uh, stay on point as much as I can. And I'm excited and happy and grateful that I was allowed to go ahead and give y'all 2 episodes at the beginning of this week. So we did drop yesterday on Monday. Go back and check that out. You can check that out on YouTube or Facebook Live. And if you are a personal friend of mine, you probably can check that out in the videos um, on my personal page, as well as Coffee Talk Podcast does have a page on Facebook with the machine. All you got to do is look it up. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Should a woman just stay at home and not work? What is your sense of it? How do you view that? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Let us know. We'd definitely love to hear from you. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and hit you up with the universal peace sign. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast. And like I say all the time, I'll see y'all soon, man. All right. Coffee Talk Podcast. Check us out. Holla back. Peace.